Welcome to the 70s Film Freak with Sarah Reach. This is the first episode I am recording. I am actually in the studio right now and I can't believe it. My heart is pounding. I'm a little nervous. So if this episode's a little rough, please be easy on me. It's going to get smoother and better as time goes on. And I'm so excited for this. Like I really love movies. I love the 70s and this really is a passion project of mine. And so, usually with the podcast, I'll start each episode with a little bit 5, 10 minutes, talking about what's new in my life, what's happening, what's exciting, scary, interesting. Just connect with you guys, fill you in, make you feel like you know me. Um, but I won't be doing that today because I'm going to record an intro episode that will release the same day as this episode, and that will just have why I created this podcast. Who am I? Facts about me. Why I love the 70s and why I love films and writing and acting and why I'm so passionate about this stuff. And that way you'll get to know me a little bit better, and then you can see the first review, and then you guys can decide if you want to keep listening or if you want to jump ship. But I hope you will keep listening. So the first one we're gonna do. So basically, for this podcast, I'm gonna review the top 100 films of the 1970s, and today we're gonna review Taxi Driver. Taxi Driver is an amazing film. It's great writing, lots of great visuals, and I just absolutely enjoyed it. So let's dive into it. So, Taxi Driver, it was made in 1975 in the summer and it released in 1976. It was directed by, oh, sorry, I had a little notification there. It was directed by Martin Scorsese, and he's an amazing director. Oh my goodness. And it was written by Paul Schrader. And Schrader is actually inspired by his own feelings of isolation and loneliness. And he used those feelings to create a story about a man's slow descent into madness. And he actually is very passionate about this because he wrote this in 10 days, which is absolutely insane for a movie film. Like, what? Like, oh my gosh, that's so fast. And of course, the lead character is Travis Bickle. He's played by Robert De Niro, and he's such an amazing, amazing actor. Iris is played by Jodie Foster. She was actually 12 years old in this film, which is, wow, like such great acting for a child actor. And Betsy is played by Cybill Shepherd, and Matthew, aka Sport, is Harvey Keitel. So, oh, another fun fact is actually this film was filmed in New York City, and they really wanted to keep that authentic to the writing, and it's very much like real raw 1970s New York. And Robert De Niro actually obtained a taxi license, and he drove around in a cab for weeks in preparation for this role because he just wanted to be a method actor and really become Travis Bickle and really live his life. Let's get into how the movie scored. So it has a Rotten Tomato 89%, IMDb 8.2 out of 10, Letterbox 4.1 out of 5, Google has it 88% like this movie. So the budget was $1.9 million. And this is 1975 money. And it grossed $28 million in US and Canada, and then another $28 million worldwide. So from that 1.9 million, they made $56 million. And it's just known as like such a masterpiece and loved amongst film freaks and cinephiles. I think that's what called, film freaks. The professional term for them. Okay, so let's get into the character. So Travis Bickle, he's 26. He lives in New York. He's not, the most attractive guy, not the most confident guy. He doesn't have that much education. He says he has some, and he was previously in the Marines. He had an honorable discharge, and he can't sleep. He works 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. 6 days a week. 666. Not good. Sometimes 7 days a week. He makes some good money. He says he makes about $350 per week. It's a long hustle, but it keeps him busy. He works because he's lonely. He doesn't have friends and family. He pushes people away, actually, and he isolates himself. And he needs something to fill his day, so he works. He just picks up shifts and shifts and shifts. And before he becomes a taxi driver, he actually tells the guy at the taxi office, I just walk around, I just drive around at night under bridges, alleyways. I'm just cruising the streets because he has a busy body, but he has nowhere to go. There's nothing to do, there's no one to talk to. And this isolation is basically what undoes him, or what's the word, like, it's his undoing in the end. And it's very important to have community, to have friendship, and to surround yourself with people, because we are social beings as human beings. So that's a little bit more about Travis the character. And another thing is that he doesn't want to be lonely. He wants to have people in his life. He wants to have events and things to do and places to go and to be wanted and needed somewhere. But he doesn't know how to do that. And that want is on a subconscious level. It's not conscious to him yet, but we'll see as it goes on through the film. So when we open up this scene, we see Travis. He's driving around the city at night. He's watching people. He's seeing everybody move through life and engage in society, and he's just on the outside. He's watching that. He's not really involving himself in that. And then he goes to the cab driver office because he wants to sign up to be a taxi driver, because he just needs to fill that time. He has all this time and nothing to do, nowhere to go, and he might as well make some money. So he signs up to be a taxi driver. We get this really great quote after, when he's writing in his diary. He says, May 10th, thank God for the rain, which has helped wash away the garbage and the trash off the sidewalks. So as he's saying this, the camera is looking into his bedroom, and it's beer cans and newspapers, and it's not clean. It's very dirty. And he's writing in his diary that he's so thankful that the rain is washing away that garbage and trash off the sidewalks, but yet he has garbage in his room. So why is he worried about what's outside when he should be worried about what's in his room? Another thing is, he's thankful for the rain because he feels like the garbage outside, it's kind of like a metaphor for what's in his life, how he feels. He feels dirty and undesirable and low, and he wants something fresh. He wants to feel clean. He wants a big rain to come and just wash away all the negative things that he's seeing, he's experiencing, that he's feeling, and make him new. So the next scene, we see Travis. He's driving in the night cab. He's got the job, and we see some amazing images of New York City at night. It's raining gently, and he's watching people. And he says, all the animals come out at night: whores, skunk pussies, buggers, queens, fairies, dopers, junkies, sick, venal. Someday a real rain will come and wash all this scum off the streets. Whoa. So what does he mean by a real rain? Because it's already raining. It's raining gently, but he's looking for something to cleanse these people. And he wants change. He wants a big change, a big impact to come, and to change up what he's seeing on the streets, to change up his view on life. Because not everybody on that street is dirty. Not everybody on that street is, involving in those, drugs and whatever else. There's regular people just walking around, going out to dinner with their friends, going on a date, going to the movies. But to him, he can only see people through his own view. And that is a very dirty, dirty view in his eyes. Well, they're dirty, so they need to be clean. They need to be washed of their sins. So later in that scene, a businessman and a call girl get in the back seat of his cab, and they're all over each other, getting freaky in the back seat. His car approaches a broken fire hydrant that's spewing water, and these people are, in Travis's mind, these people are dirty. This man is hiring this girl for favors, and he shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't be involved in that kind of night scene, that dirty, grungy, low down work in his mind. Yet here's this fire hydrant that can, spray them with water, but he rolls up the window to prevent them from being soaked. And this shows that although he knows that they need that water because they're getting really hot in the backseat, they're kissing, they're touching, they're doing all kinds of stuff that, the water could cool them down a little bit. He knows that it's not his job to clean them, to cleanse them, and that something else is another force that has to do that. So the next scene, we see Travis. He's taking a swig of alcohol and he's going into an adult movie theater. He flirts with the candy counter girl and she shuts him down. He says, "12 hours of work and I still can't sleep. All my life needed was a sense of some place to go." This is just the writers showing us and telling us more. He's lonely. He's working all these hours because he has nowhere to go. He has nothing to do. When you have a life that is full of relationships and community, you're constantly going to events, birthday parties, dates, friends meetups. You're doing stuff like hobbies like playing golf or basketball. You're helping a friend move. You're going to a barbecue in someone's backyard. He doesn't have that. He has nowhere to go, but yet his body has all this energy. Like, okay, like we got to do something. We got to involve ourselves, but he doesn't know what to do. So he's gonna go to a dirty movie theater and see if that will, you know, release some of that tension, I guess. Next, we see him laying in bed and he's recalling the time he saw a gorgeous woman. And this is Betsy. So she's shown in a white dress, and he says, looking like an angel out of this filthy mass. They cannot touch her. Betsy is a symbol of hope for Travis. Hope for happiness, for love, for friendship, for life fulfillment. Whether he recognizes it or not, subconsciously he believes that he is part of the dirty masses and he can't have her. So then we get a closer look at Betsy. Betsy is young, she's blonde with blue eyes, a youthful glow. She's very fresh looking. I'm gonna guess she's on 25 years old. You can tell that she's intelligent, poised, classy by the way she carries herself, the way she dresses. And she's working for a campaign for a senator named Palantine. And when we're in Betsy's world and we're seeing her in the campaign office, it's vibrant, it's colorful. She's wearing bright colors, and the world just looks brighter and fuller. And the room is packed with people. They're all coworkers, but it's packed. Even the carpet's red. Like it's just a more vibrant world because that's the world that she lives in. And when we see Travis in his room or in the cab or on the streets, it's the streets are empty. The cab is dark and he's just looking out the front window. He's just looking forward and doesn't really, care to look around unless he's um, judging people on the streets. So it just shows the two worlds they live in. Travis in his dark, the world's evil, everyone's dirty, there's filth and scum everywhere, versus Betsy, who has so much hope, so much fresh and youthness to her. Um, and she's excited about the campaign. So it's just different contrast. So Betsy's talking about a senator that she's working for, Palantine, and she describes him as an intelligent, interesting, fresh, and fascinating man. And her coworker makes a joke saying, "You forgot sexy," and she says, "And sexy too." She is describing someone that is not Travis. If you were to look at the character of Travis Bickle right now at this point of the story, he's not intelligent, interesting, fresh, or fascinating. He's the opposite of those things. He's boring. He has no interests. He's a little dirty and he's lonesome. There's no big intrigue around him. He has nothing going on. He's just driving taxis. She notices Travis staring at her through the window. He's been there a while. Then her coworker says something to, scare him away. The next scene, we see Travis looking real rough. And he's going to this rough looking night spot. And he's meeting with three guys that seem to know him. He gets some coffee and sits with them. So one of the men is telling a story about a sexual encounter that is very obviously fabricated. This is a Wizard. He's one of the more senior taxi drivers and his friends. And they're all cabbies together, so they're just taking a little break in the night to get some coffee, and then they'll go back on their route if they have someone waiting for them or a call to go to. And then in this scene, Travis is talking to one of the guys, and he asks him if he ever feels the need to carry a weapon. I don't know if I can say certain things on this podcast. I'm not really sure. I'll just say a weapon for now. And if he feels like he needs it for the night to protect himself. And he says no. But the guy says, if you ever need it, let me know. Travis is kind of just like, whatever, bro. Like, I don't need it, so just drop it. And he puts a pill in his water and it starts bubbling and he gets lost into it. His mind is elsewhere. He's not focused. The next scene is a big one. Travis storms into the campaign headquarters. He's clean shaven, showered. He's wearing a button up shirt and a red blazer. He walks up to Betsy and asks to volunteer. She asks him why. He says, "You are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." And he invites Betsy to get coffee and pie. She looks at him, with a little bit of intrigue, like, okay, who's this guy? And why should I get coffee and pie with you? Which, yum. Oh my gosh, coffee and pie date? Yes, please. I only eat apple pie, though. Is that a deal breaker? I don't think so. He says, "I think you're a lonely person. I drive by this place a lot, and I see you here. I see a lot of people around you. I see all these phones and all this stuff around your desk. That means nothing. And when I came inside and met you, I saw in your eyes how you carried yourself, that you're not a happy person. And I think you need something. And if you want to call it a friend, you can call it a friend." Whoa. Mic drop. This is a major moment in the film. First of all, let's look at Travis. Whenever we see him, he's always wearing that brown jacket and just whatever the hell he threw on. Now he's freshly shaven. He's even styled his hair. Looks like he's brushed his teeth like really well too. He's cleaned himself. He's prepared himself, and he's put on clean clothes and a very suited and booted look. He has a red blazer and a button-up shirt, and he's looking clean and fresh, and he's looking like he's putting his best foot forward because he is. Because he knows subconsciously that Betsy is not anywhere near near him in society, that she's a little bit higher up and he's a little bit lower. And then he's even lower because of how he feels about himself and how he isolates himself. He's wearing red. Red is a great choice for the wardrobe team because it's passion. It's love. It's feeling bold. It's feeling courageous. And that's how he's feeling. He's taking a big leap. He's marching into the campaign headquarters and he's going to go directly to Betsy and ask her out. That takes guts. That takes a lot of guts. And he's feeling bold in this moment. And what he says to her, "I think you're a lonely person. You're not a happy person. You need something." He is speaking directly about himself. He's projecting. He's full on projecting everything he's saying right here. Because how can you know that from looking at Betsy? Betsy's, young, beautiful, fresh, glowy skin. She's smiling and laughing. And I believe just for the scene, she had the little joke with her coworker and was laughing about, what she saw outside when she was on her way to work. And she's engaging in conversation, and you can tell she has joy in her life. For him to walk in there and say, "You're not a happy person. You need something. If you want to call it a friend, call it a friend." It's him. He wants a friend. He wants someone to relieve some of the burden that is life. Life is very, very hard. And something that I am a firm believer on is that you can go through life without, ever getting married. You can go through life without having a close relationship with your parents. Some people, are, no contact with their parents and things like that and their family members. But I believe that you cannot live life without a friend. you need to have one friend at least, a person you can call when you're down, because you're going to have those down moments. Life is peaks and valleys. And sometimes you're in the valley for a long time and it gets rough and it feels like you're being beaten up down there. And you need someone to call and say, you know what, I'm going through it. Can I talk to you about this? Or hey, you know what? I'm been working my butt off and I just need to have some fun. Let's go out and do something fun. You want to go for a hike? You want to go for a picnic? You want to get some chicken wings on Wing Wednesday? Yes, I do. You need that. You need someone who's gonna buy you a round of tequila shots, like you need someone that's gonna be there to order the food for you, DoorDash it right to your house and say, girl, I got you. Eat this, watch your favorite movie, drink some wine, and I'll call you tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow. You need that. You need that in order to have a healthy, functioning life and to be a healthy, functioning person in society. So yeah, this is a major, major moment because he's revealing himself. And in a way, he's not ready to say to the world, I am lonely. I need people to interact with me. But he is willing to say that to Betsy in a way where he makes it seem like she needs somebody. And I think he subconsciously believes that she also is lonely and that she needs a friend. And that's why he's able to say this. But yeah, it's a huge moment. So Betsy's, she's kind of like, okay, well, this guy comes in here, he has all this confidence, and he's kind of interesting. So let me get some pie and ice cream, and oh, not ice cream, pie and coffee, and see what he has to say. So they go on a date. They go on a date to a cafe, and they're sitting together close. I think she has like a fruit cup. I'm like, girl, please. She's probably trying to, save the figure, but I feel like I'd get a pie. He has some pie and some cheese and a coffee, which is that a thing? Do people eat pie and cheddar? Or was it cheddar? I don't know. It was pie and some kind of cheese slice. Let me know. I heard that. I was like, pie and a cheese slice. Hmm. Suspicious. They're sitting together, they're having flowing conversations. And this scene is so cute because it's a contrast. So far, we've seen him, judging people on the streets, scouring and saying, "Oh my gosh, this city's full of filth and scum, and look at these people, and life's so dark, and there's nothing going on, nothing to do." And he's always in like his dark room, his dark cab is, on the streets or in a dirty movie. But now we see him; he's in a restaurant, and there's a city view behind him, and it's bright. That their sun is out. People on the street behind him, they're way different than what we saw in the scenes of him driving at night. We see families, we see elderly, we see women and their children, and we see people just walking around looking great, smiling, and it's vibrant and it looks like there's like a big ray of sunshine on them. And that's probably how he feels because now, here he is sitting with this angel and she's giving him time. She's giving him time to talk about himself and to potentially woo her, to win her over. And of course, he's wearing his red blazer, so that symbol of love and confidence and bold. And they're having flowing conversation. Travis is listening, engaging, he's asking questions about her. He even opens up about how he needs to organize his life and makes a little joke like, "Yeah, I gotta get organized or organized." And she's like, "Ah, you gotta do that." And he says that they had a connection. That when he walked in there, when they locked eyes, there was a connection and that he would not have talked to her had that connection not been established. And he asked if she felt the connection too. And she said yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Mm, okay. Now things are cooking. So we think. And I just made a note here like, socializing is just so important for human beings, like for their mental, emotional, physical health. Because in this scene, Travis looks healthier. Somehow he looks well rested. He looks like he's eating a full meal that wasn't takeout, which his apartment had beer cans and takeout bags because that's what he's eating. He's eating junk. He's eating junk. He's not sleeping. He's overworking himself. But yet in this scene right here, he looks healthy and happy, and his eyes have a sparkle of hope in them. And It's great, but it just shows how easy it is to go from like well-adjusted person to, that slippery slope of isolation and going down to a place where it gets pretty dark and pretty scary, which we'll see in this film. So right now he's actually the best he is, and then he's gonna go get worse. Foreshadowing. Actually, not foreshadowing. That's just me telling you what's happening. Okay, so then in this scene, Betsy tells him that he reminds her of a song called He's a Prophet and a Pusher, a walking contradiction. And he's kind of offended. He's like, "What do you mean? Like, I don't ever push anything. I'm not a pusher." She says, "Not that, the contradiction." Because it's contrast. And basically, she's saying that Travis is unstable, and even in her limited time of talking to him, she can see that. She can see that because who in their right mind comes up to someone and says, "You're lonely. You're not a happy person. But wait, I can be your friend. Yeah, I'm just a stranger off the street that's been staring at you through the window, but you know what? I can be your friend." So she's recognized that, okay, he says that, and then yet on this date, he's smiling, he's engaging in conversation, he's very interested in me. It's like, okay, what is this guy? Who is he? It's hard to figure him out because he's not showing who he really is. He's very much hiding a part of himself on this date to, try to woo Betsy. So in the next scene, Travis picks up Palantine in his car. It's nighttime, and Palantine is, I guess, waiting for a limo, and the limo's taking too long. So he's like, "Okay, I'll just get a cab," and he's with his Secret Service. And he asks Travis. Travis is like, "Hey, I know who you are. I'm gonna vote for you, and everyone I know is gonna vote for you. You're gonna win, and you're doing a great job. I believe everything you're doing." And Valentine asks him, "Okay, well, you know what? I've learned more in the back seat of New York City cabs than I have in uh I don't know." He says like academic books or something. He says something like he compares it, but it's like very much like he's blowing it out of proportion to flatter Travis and make him feel good about being a taxi driver. And he says, "Travis, what is the issue that is most important to you, or what issue that should the president focus on?" And then it gets really dark and weird, and Travis is like, "Oh yeah, the president, he needs to clean up this street. He needs to clean up this city. It's full of scum and filth." And he says the city is like an open sewer, full of filth and scum, and I can hardly take it. He says it causes him headaches. It's so bad. The stench causes him headaches that they last all day. They don't go away. So this draws it in more to or it tells the audience that his view of the world is very, very negative. And it's so negative that it's begun to cause him physical ailments. He has headaches because he can't stand what he's seeing, what he's smelling, what he's feeling, what he's experiencing in the streets. He just hates it so much, and his head's just banging all day long because he has to live in this and he can't take it. Well, he said, "I can hardly take it." So it means he's managing it now, but there's going to come a time where that band is going to snap, and we're going to see that. So next, it's a very important scene. So he's driving the cab at night, and he's parked on the side, and this young girl jumps in the back seat, and she's like, "Go, go, go." And he's kind of like looking at her like, "What?" And this guy comes and he grabs her and he's roughing her up and he's grabbing her and he's pulling her out of the backseat of the cab and he's holding on to her. She's trying to run away and she's like screaming and really putting up a fight. And he throws Travis a scrunched up $20 bill and he says, "Don't worry about it, cabbie." And he hauls that girl away. Travis recognizes that that wasn't right. That girl was most likely in danger and that she needed help, but he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. That was his chance to stop some of the filth and the scum on the streets and stop some of that, that horrible stuff that is out there. But he didn't do anything. He could have drove off with her. He could have fought that guy. He could have said something, but he didn't say anything. He didn't move. He just sat there. Hmm. Next scene, Travis is wearing his red blazer again. Once again, he's feeling bold. He's feeling confident. He has that feeling of love. Oh my gosh. And he's going on a date with Betsy. He gives her a record, and it's actually the song that she said that he reminded her of, and that's the contradicting song, Pusher and Prophet, Prophet and a Pusher. And they go to the movies. He takes her to see, I believe it's a Masters and Johnson's movie, which is like all about like sex education, things like that, which is a very important um cause in the 70s. Is all about sexual liberation and freedom and free love and all that stuff. And I think they were part of that movement, and just giving like education to people and just being on the forefront of, hey, you know what, it's okay to have sex and you don't need to be married to do it. So they get in the movie, and she's kind of at where they're buying tickets. She's kind of like, I don't know if I want to see this movie. Like, it's not a good movie for couples. And he's like, oh no, plenty of couples want to see this. They go inside, and it's just like raunchy sex scenes. And she gets up and she runs out of there. And he goes after her. He's like, wait, wait, wait. And she's like, why'd you bring me here? And he basically says, I can take you anywhere. Just tell me where to take you. Just tell me where to take you. Travis doesn't know where to take a girl on a date. He doesn't know the hot spots in New York City. He doesn't know what's cool, what's fun, what's trendy. And it's showing. I don't think he had any malicious intent, because she says, "Oh, this is just the same as just telling me to get in bed with you." And he's like, no, no, like I wanted to bring you to the movies and for us to have a good time together. And she's seeing it as like, okay, this guy just wants to get me in bed, where he's like, I don't know where to take her for a date. I don't know, because how would he know the best restaurants and the coolest nightclubs and hot, fun, trendy places for people to go in New York if he's always at home or always working and never sleeping? And never talking to people who are young, cool, and fun and hip. So it's just it's a way for the writers to show that he is removed. He's removed from what's trending, what's cool, and what's hip. Because he's only 26 years old. He should know, but he doesn't know it because he's isolated. This is a big fight. She ends up getting to a cab, and she just drives off, and he just is completely so sad when she runs away. Um, in the next scene, he's trying to call her, and he's saying that he sent her flowers and he hopes that she gets them, and she's sending them back. And he's like, I want to take you out to dinner. She's like, no way. Like, she's very upset, and she's very much like, I don't want you. And in my opinion, I don't think she wanted him that much to begin with. I don't think she was like, oh my gosh, Travis, look at that man. Let me get some of that. She's like, okay, this guy is like coming in here asking me out, very much, very confident. He looks clean, looks fresh. He has a job, clearly. Let me get some pie with him, or let me go to the movie theater with him. It's not much like she had a crush on him or anything. So I think it's very easy for her to cut him off. And yeah, that was his one shot, and he totally blew it. So here's a man who feels low, and then he sees this angel, this symbol of hope, this little gleam of a potential to have happiness in his life. And he gets so excited, and then she runs away. She stops returning the calls. She returns all the flowers that he sends, and she completely just like stops talking to him. So now he's deeper in the hole. Now he's deeper in those feelings of isolation, because now he's not only isolated, he's rejected. He probably felt, okay, people don't want to be around me. But now he knows it's true. Because Betsy, the person he put above everyone, she was an angel among the masses. She doesn't want him. She doesn't want him. And now he starts to go down. He starts feeling worse. And we see a scene of all these like old dead flowers in his home, and dead flowers, they stink so bad. Oh my gosh. Like one bouquet of dead flowers. Ugh, it smells so bad. So to have like these, and they're huge, these huge bouquets, and they're rotting and they're stinking up his apartment. And he's saying the smell is just so bad. It's intensifying his headaches. They're unbearable now, and his stomach is just churning so bad. He feels like he has stomach cancer. And this line, it just shows his brain and where he's at in his thinking, because for him to say that, it's like he's so far gone that he's thinking he has stomach cancer. And then he says, "You're only as healthy as you feel. You're only as healthy as you feel." He feels sick. He feels sick. So he is sick. I believe that mind over matter. Mind over matter. If your mind is positive and confident and positive and excited, you're gonna be that. If you say in your mind, "I'm gonna be healthy and strong and I'm gonna finish this workout," you're gonna finish that workout. It's all in your mind. So if your mind is saying, "Oh my gosh, I probably have stomach cancer because of all this stench around me," then he's gonna feel like he does have that stomach cancer. He's gonna feel like those headaches are unbearable. It's mind over matter. It really is. And when you're not mentally well, that's like a war zone. That's a war. So now we're gonna see Travis. He's bubbling and he's about to burst. He storms into the campaign headquarters office and he demands to know why Betsy won't talk to him. He's wearing his red shirt inside and he has his brown jacket on the outside. And this time the red is for anger, for embarrassment, for passion, for rage. He's heartbroken. She's thinking, "Oh my gosh, I went on 2 dates with this guy. One was on my break, my lunch break. I had a fruit salad and a coffee. Like what? Now he's storming in here demanding to know why I don't want to talk to him after he took me to a dirty film. Is he kidding? He's not kidding. He's not kidding because he wants to know. He wants to know. And I don't like this scene. I don't like how he's addressing her. But I have to remind myself that he's not in the sound mind. He's slowly creeping into madness. And it's almost like we've been climbing a mountain and we're reaching the peak. We're reaching the climax now, because now he's out in the world yelling and bursting into places. And he says to her, "You're in hell and you're going to die in hell with the rest of them. You're just like the rest of them." And this is partly why he's so upset, because he put Betsy above the people. He said that she was an angel among the masses. He spotted her so clear out of all those people on the streets because he put her on a pedestal. She was his dream girl. But no, she's not a dream girl. She's not an angel sent to rescue him and to be his friend, to be someone he can talk to, someone who can love him and support him and live life with him. No, she's just like the people on the streets. She's just like the unwashed masses. She's a part of that. And that's heartbreaking for him, because what is out there on those streets is what is destroying him. Betsy is partaking in what is destroying him. He can't take it. He can't take it. Next, we see Travis at night. He's driving the taxi. There's an erratic man in the backseat of the cab, and he's saying, pull over here at this apartment building. And Travis turns off the meter, and he's like, "Did I tell you to turn off the meter? Turn it back on. Don't do anything. Don't write anything down. Just sit there. We're gonna sit here." And he tells him, "Do you know where we are?" Travis is looking at him like, "Oh my gosh, there's someone crazier than me out here," and he's in the backseat of my cab. Oh no. Yeah. Travis is like, "What? Okay, like what?" He didn't say that, but his eyes were like, "Okay, like what? Like what's going on now?" The man's like, "Look up that window. You see the light?" And it's this whole thing of like, Travis is not answering him, which I think is actually a smart move. Whenever someone crazy or erratic is talking to you, um, you don't need to answer them because there's no right answer. Had Travis said anything, I think he would have experienced some of that man's rage, and it would have hurt him. But yeah, so life lesson: if someone crazy is asking you questions, just look at them and just listen, because that's what they really want. They don't want answers to those questions because they're gonna tell you what the answer is. You just gotta like, okay, like listen, back away slowly, keep eye contact, don't make any sudden movements, and get out of there when you can. Anyway, the man points to the window upstairs in an apartment building. He says his wife is up there and that she's having an affair with a black man. And he's not going to take it. He's going to go up there and he's going to take their lives. And he talks about the weapons that he's going to use. And he describes what they're going to do to them. And as he's saying this about his wife and how he's gonna hurt her, it plants a little seed in Travis's mind, um, to hurt, to do something, to take action. Because what that man is saying is happening is filth. It's scum. She's cheating. She's stepping out of her marriage. So he's gonna go up there and he's gonna do something about it. He's gonna stand up against it. Um, and it gives Travis the idea to do the same thing. And next we see Travis stops at a food spot to grab a bite to eat with the cab guys, Wizard and them. And he pulls Wizard aside and he has tears in his eyes. He's heartbroken, guys. Like he's sad. And he says that he just feels the need to do something. He's gotta do something. And that he has bad ideas in his head. Of course, Wizard, he's a guy that's a cab driver in New York. He has no success. He has no achievements. He's been driving a cab for 10 years and doesn't have his own cab. He's driving someone else's cab. He hasn't even invested in the career that he's chosen to do. What advice can he give? He tells to him to get drunk and to get a lead. And that life sucks. So just deal with it. Which is the worst advice you can give to somebody who is going through uh well going through a quick descent to madness, basically. He's going crazy. He's going insane. And the process has been expedited by the fact that Betsy has rejected him and broken his heart. But of course, we understand why. Wizard doesn't have any real advice to give and why this scene makes sense. Because if he had people around him who were logical and intelligent and were, deep thinkers, they wouldn't tell him, okay, you need to explore how you're feeling and find a way to channel that energy, um, and get it out in a way that expresses your emotions but doesn't hurt anybody. Let's think of some ways to do that and then move forward with that. But of course, Wizard has to tell him, just get drunk and get laid and life sucks. So just deal with it. Don't expect anything too much in life. So we see Travis driving around at night, and oh my gosh, here comes Iris. Jodie Foster looks so cute in this movie. She's so cute. I love her little outfits. She jumps in the road basically, and he has to skirt around and almost hit her. And she's walking with a friend, and he's kind of like, okay, like who's this girl? And similar way to how he saw Betsy out of the crowd as his angel among the masses, he sees Iris. She looks different. She's different from the regular dirty people on the streets and the crowd that is usually out there at that time of night in those areas too, in those corners, those street corners. And she's different. So he kind of follows around a little bit. He's watching her. And she notices that he's following in the cab. And she's kind of like trying to look at him too. And her friend's like, just ignore him. Just ignore him. It's fine. And he says something. He says, my loneliness has followed me everywhere. In bars, cars, sidewalks, stores, everywhere. There's no escape. I'm God's lonely man. Then he says that each day is indistinguishable from the next. Every day is the same routine. And this is a good way for the audience to know that he has always been like this. This sense of loneliness and isolation, it didn't happen just last year. It didn't happen just these past few months. He's always felt like this. It's always been like this. And if he knew a way to change it, he would. But he doesn't know one to change it. And he just accepted it because he says there's no escape. There's no other way. I tried to, befriend Betsy, but she rejected me. So now, I can't escape this loneliness, this cloak of isolation that's on me. It just won't get off. And he says, I'm God's lonely man. So that's low. That's feeling really low. And he says each day is indistinguishable from the next. Every day is the same routine. That sucks. That really sucks. And something I've learned is that when you have a job and, responsibilities like kids and pets and things like that, there's a lot of routine in your life. There's lots of repetition of things. And it kind of it gets boring, so you want to have some fun. You want to spruce things up. And it's important to kind of schedule in that fun. So every once in a while, like go out for lunch, go out and do a bike ride at like 7 p.m. Go out and go for a hike on a weekday morning if you can. Like take a day off work and just go for a hike all day. Just do things to kind of change up your routine. So that way when you look back on your life, you remember more. Because when you have I saw this on TikTok. If you do the same thing every single day, your brain will take all those different days and make it one memory. So to have a new memory, you have to do something different. So let's say every day, I wake up, I go to work, and I come home and feed the dog and go to bed. I'm gonna have one memory of that, and I'm gonna do that probably like 300 times. But if I say that day, instead of going home, I go out, I go to the beach, and do some swimming after work. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, your brain's like, whoa, something different. And it remembers it. And it's fun to have those memories, and it makes life feel like you're living it to the fullest. And that's more enjoyable. So I try to schedule in those random change up the routine moments because it really does help. It really does help. So now we see Travis. So what did he just say? He said that there's no escape to his loneliness. So there's no escape, and he just said the headaches are unbearable, and he thinks he has stomach cancer. So at this point, what does he have to lose? He's all there's no when they say life can be worse, it can't be worse for Travis. This is the worst. This is the worst, and he's like, damn, okay, this is the worst, and I gotta change things up. So we see him buy some weapons and he starts practicing at the range. And now he's beginning his transformation. He's doing some rigorous daily exercise. He's no more pills, no more junk food. He starts to build up his resistance to pain by burning his arm. He is looking for a purpose in life and connection, of course. And since those things haven't happened naturally, he's going to take matters into his own hands. And we're seeing him slide down the slope into complete insanity. He's not in his sound mind anymore. He's lost it. He's absolutely lost it. Next thing we see him at Palatine's having a public speaking engagement, and Travis decides to go. And he's wearing all his weapons underneath, and he has a jacket on, and he sees an undercover agent, and he goes up to him, and he's having a conversation, and he says that there was a suspicious group of people just over there. Agent's like, where? And he's like, oh, over there. And he points to where he just was standing. Dun dun dun. He points to where he was just standing and says there were some suspicious people there. Agent says, where? He says, oh, they were just over there. Where is he? He's talking about himself. he knows that he is a dangerous person. And in a way, he's kind of giving the agent a clue like, oh, there's somebody dangerous here. There's someone that needs to be watched here. Somebody here might do something. As he's doing that, he's also talking to the agent and asking about what it would be like to be a Secret Service agent and how to sign up and get more information. So he's a contradiction. He's a walking contradiction because he's inquiring about becoming a secret agent, aka protecting. Their job is to serve and protect while he's undercover and a threat to the public. He has a bunch of weapons underneath him in his jacket, and he's feeling the need to do something. Very contradicting. Another thing is that he's willingly engaging in conversation with the agent because he wants to be seen. He wants people to see him, and he feels invisible, and he wants to be seen. And he says, be careful today. You have to be careful in a place like this. He's foreshadowing because he's already planning to launch an attack. He's giving a heads up because he knows he's about to do something wrong. He's about to commit to something horrible. But because he gives a heads up, it's going to kind of soothe his conscience a little bit. Because according to him, he's a clean conscience. In the beginning, when they asked about his driving record, he says, clean like my conscience. We see the next scene. Travis is in the mirror. He's looking worn out. His eyes are red. He's not slept. He's exercising. He's practicing his skills at the range, but he's not good. He's not looking good. And he says, "You talking to me? You talking to me? Then who the hell else are you talking to? I'm the only one here. Who the F do you think you're talking to?" Here is a man who stood up for something. Travis he's become a new beast. He's transformed himself into something new. And to him, it's a man who's going to do something. Someone's going to take a stand. Someone's going to do something important and be seen and be known. But we know it's because he's lost his mind. At this point, he's completely lost his mind. And he feels as though it's him versus everybody else. It's him versus the world. We see Travis in a convenience store in the next scene. He's grabbing some snacks when a young man comes in and tries to rob the place. And what does Travis do? He shoots him. He shoots him. And he didn't hesitate to shoot. But once he saw the man shot, he kind of froze a little bit. And they say once someone takes a life, it's easy for them to take another life. I think at this moment, we're learning that he's completely insane. And now that he's killed, potentially, because the shop owner's like, is he dead? He's like, I don't know. And the shop owner proceeds to like beat the guy up. And it's a whole other thing. But Travis, he gets back in his car and he drives away. We're seeing that he's completely changed. There's no way in heck that the Travis we met at the beginning would just shoot someone like that. But this Travis, he did and he will again. We see Travis write a letter to his parents, wishing them a happy Father's Day and a happy birthday to his mom. He states that he's working for the Secret Service Department for the government and that he's happy, healthy, wealthy, and he's dating Betsy for months. He's keeping his parents away because he's ashamed of himself. He's not happy with his life, so he chooses to isolate himself so he doesn't have to deal with the thoughts and opinions of others. We see him, some scenes of him watching romantic TV, and he has a weapon in his hand, and he's pointing it to the TV. He hates that he's missing out on that friendship, on that romantic relationship. And he kicks the TV. His loneliness is beating him up on the inside. And those romantic shows are not helping. We see Travis pay to book with Iris. He sees her and he's like, I gotta talk to you. And she says, talk to him first. And we see Sport, Matthew. His name is Matthew, but she calls him Sport. And he's obviously her, um, I guess, like pimp, basically. And Travis pays a fee and he goes up there with Iris and he starts talking to her. He wants to bust her out of there. He's like, you gotta get out of here. What are you doing? Let me help you. Like, are they keeping you here? And we learn that Iris believes that she has nowhere else to go and that her parents, um, they hate her and that she is there because she has nowhere else to go. She's with Matthew and the girls because that's where she needs to be. And she tries to, entertain him and he obviously refuses and pushes her away because that's gross. She's very young and he keeps asking like, what's your name? What's your real name? And he wants to get to know who she is because he sees that she is pure among the masses and he feels the need to save her because when there's so much filth and scum around you, if there's something clean, you can be quick to try to pick that up and protect it so it doesn't get anything on it and become dirty like everything else. They meet for breakfast and she tells him more about how she ran away from her parents and how she hopes to join a commune in Vermont and invites him and she says that he's square and he's like, I'm not square. You know, I'm not square at all. Look at you. You're selling yourself for nothing. And who's Matthew? Matthew is scum. Matthew is scum of the earth, he says. He does offer her money to go to Vermont and to escape, and she says, um, thank you. But it's clear that she's hesitant to leave. And then in the next scene, we see her in the bedroom with Matthew, and he's holding her and talking sweet to her and cuddling her and telling her how much he loves her and how he wishes every man could be loved by her and how she just makes him feel so good. And it shows it's manipulation. Iris is young. She most likely believes that she's in a relationship with Matthew and that he wants her well-being. And by doing the work that she does, it's just her, helping to pitch in for some money, I guess. And I think a lot of women that are in those situations, they're kind of lured into it or manipulated into it by romantic partners. And it's very unfortunate. So then we see Travis is now more confident in his plan. He puts some money in an envelope for Iris and he writes a note saying goodbye. And he says that by the time she reads that note, he will be dead. And he mails it to her. And I feel like Matthew would check the mail. He says personal on it, but I feel like Matthew would like open that up and like check it and be like, what's going on here? And see the money and see the note and be like, you're trying to run away. How dare you? And it'd be a whole thing. But that's a whole other thing. So that was my mind. I was like, wait, Matthew definitely opened that letter for her. And Travis says, now I see it clearly. My whole life has pointed to one direction. I see that now. There has never been any choice for me. It just shows that right now his crazy lunatic plan, he thinks that that's the only chance or only thing he's supposed to do. He feels like he's justified in carrying out this plan because that's his one opportunity to do something, his one opportunity to be seen by the world, his one opportunity to take a stand against the scum and the filth and the dirt and all that stuff that made him so sick. All the stuff that's hurt him, that's been hurting him all this time. It's his one chance to stand up to it. So then we see the rally and Valentine's in the park. There's a big crowd. People are really rooting for him. And we see we see Travis with a new hairstyle, a mohawk and sunglasses. He's completely lost it. Look at him now. He has this rebellious look to him. He's making himself appear different from the other people because he's separating himself. It's him versus everyone else, and that's what they want us to know. Valentine says we've reached the turning point. No longer shall we the people suffer for the few. And here's Travis smiling and clapping because he agrees. No longer will he suffer. He's been suffering with headaches and stinky flowers and stomach pains and the streets and the constant filth and scum, and he can't stand it all. And no longer will he suffer because now he's gonna do something. He's gonna stand up for something. And at this point, we're all like, every person in the audience is like, oh my gosh, like, what's he gonna do now? And I feel like it's a very tense moment, and this movie is very good with like the tension, and we can see him going off the rails, and we're like, oh my gosh, like, what can we do? And it's almost like we're on a roller coaster. We're on this roller coaster by force. Travis has forced us on this roller coaster with him, and we're just like, okay, well, brace yourself. He's gonna do something, and we're all gonna have to go on this crazy ride together. And they've really done a great job with this film, building up the tension, because now we're like, okay, he's here. He's cut his hair. He has all these weapons. He has nothing to lose. What is he going to do? Valentine's walking through the crowd with his security, and Travis pulls his weapon. Well, attempts to. He's quickly chased away by the Secret Service. They spot him, but the guy that chases him doesn't get a good look at him, so he ends up falling down, and Travis gets up running away. So we see him back at his apartment, and now he's drinking more. He's taking more pills. He's amping himself up more because Plan A didn't go, so Plan B better go smooth, smoother than smooth. It better go silky. He drives up to the street where Matthew is and pulls up there, goes right up to him and is like, "Are you Matthew? Do you know Iris?" And he's challenging him. He has this arrogance to him, this big confidence to him that he didn't have before. And Matthew's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "You don't know me?" He's like, "I've never seen you before." Matthew's like, "Should I know you?" And he's like, "Well, you should know me. I know Iris. Do you know Iris?" And he's just confronting him. Matthew doesn't like that. He obviously gives him a threat and it's like, "Get out of here," throws a cigarette at him. And what does Travis do? He smiles. He pulls out his gun and he shoots Matthew in the stomach. And there goes Matthew. He goes inside the building now. And there's a little bit of a keeper, like a hallway security guard. He shoots him too. And now we're in this big shootout scene. So now here we go. Everybody hold on to your seats because now Travis is doing something. However, he didn't check to make sure that Matthew was okay because to check if Matthew was fully gone, because Matthew comes back into the hallway, sorry, and he starts shooting and he shoots him in the neck. And there's this huge shootout. And finally it goes into Iris's room and everyone is shot. And Travis, he collapses on the couch. Iris is crying in the corner. She's so scared. She just saw like a bunch of people just die all in her room basically. I don't know why you had to bring it all in there. Take him out in the hallway and then, go save Iris, but he wanted to drag them all in there, and it was a very scary scene. And he's sitting on the couch, and we see someone creeping in the room, and we're like, okay, who is this now? Like, we're thinking, okay, he's finished everybody. He's got the gangsters. He got Matthew. He got everybody that is in that facility that's holding Iris hostage. Who is there? And it's the police. They look at him. He looks at them, and he takes his hands and he makes a gesture that he's pointing to himself with like trigger fingers. And he goes, click, 3 times. And then he closes his eyes. And the next we see is some newspaper cutouts and a letter. And he's a hero. He's a hero. Taxi driver battles gangsters, the news article says. and that he was in a coma from being shot in the neck, and that he recovered. He had a full recovery. And there was a letter from Iris's parents. She went back home. She's back in school. She's working hard, and they're fixing their relationship with her. And that they want to thank Travis because he saved her. Not only did he blow up this huge pimping ring, because Matthew had other girls. So not only did Iris get set free, but the other girls got set free too. He blew up this whole pimping ring. He got a bunch of gangsters. He saved Iris, who was 12 and a half. And he's a hero. He's just a cabbie that wants to do some good. That's what the media says. Now, what do we think? I think that he's not a hero. He wanted to save Iris, yes. He did save Iris, yes. But he wanted to cause harm. And he was not afraid of getting other people that he didn't know, strangers, caught in the crosshairs of that harm. Because he wanted to do something. Yeah. He's not a hero. But it worked out in the end for him. We see he's recovered. He's actually at the taxi place with the wizard and the guys. It's nighttime. They're just hanging out, talking. And he's actually engaging with them. He's talking to them and actually engaging in conversation. Whereas before, they three would be talking and he'd kind of be off to the side doing his own thing, or, drifting off into his own mind or whatever. He's talking to them and they say, hey, you got a fare. And he drives his lady home. And who is it? It's Betsy. He takes her home and she tries to pay. He says so long, and he clears the meter and drives away. And he has a smile on his face, and he's okay with leaving her there. He's okay with it. And I think the fact that he saved Iris, that he saved that one little angel amongst the scum, he took out the scum. Because what he said, Matthew is the scum of the earth. So he took out Matthew, the scum. He saved Iris, an angel, and sent her back to her parents. And she's back in school doing little girl things. And he did something. He stood up for something. He stood up for Iris. And that was enough for him to feel a sense of fulfillment. And the fact that he was seen in the newspaper, he was recognized for standing up for something. He got recognition and appreciation, and the world saw him. Iris's parents saw him. Betsy, she saw him. She said, I read about you in the paper. Everyone saw him at that moment for standing up for something. And that, in a way, healed him. It healed him. And that's the end of the film. And it's a very ambiguous ending because it's open into interpretation. Interpretation. Oh my god, I can't talk. It's open for everyone to interpret it however they want to. And that's what I think about it. I think that, yeah, he wasn't a hero, but in the end, he got what he needed to feel content in his life. And that's why now he can drive the taxi cab without, hating everybody on the streets. And he can engage with Wizard and the guys and be one of them and just feel okay. Because he's like, yeah, I am a cabbie. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's do my score. So for the writing, I put 10. 10 out of 10. It's great writing. I love the foreshadowing. I love the words. I love the monologues, like when he marched in and he said to Betsy, you're not a happy person. And there's very powerful words in this script. The fashion, 10. I love Betsy's outfits. She's so colorful, she's so beautiful, and I love how she's, the clean, trendy 70s, and then you see Iris and she's just cute, kind of like more trying to be sexy, trying to be a little grown up. They're like scandalous, like young girl fashion 70s. And we see Matthew, and he dresses how he should look. When we first see him, he has this brown jacket with big pockets for what is this called? so he can have alcohol in his jacket, take a swig of it whenever he needs to. He doesn't have a lot of colors, you know, his face is very muted, his outfit's very muted. And when we see him interacting with Betsy, he's wearing red, you know? So there's a great messaging, there's great styling in this movie. So fashion, 10 out of 10. Cinematography, 10 out of 10. I love the scenes in New York. I love the camera angles and the scenes that we got to see and how we got to see things from Travis's perspective and from Betsy's perspective. And just to see, you know, the two different worlds and the contrast within them because Travis' world was very dark and very scary, very, very dirty. And Betsy, she's living in this very fresh, very clean, very vibrant world because that was her life. And it felt really good to see that. Music, 5 out of 10. I don't remember the music very well, actually. I watched this last night, and it's my second time watching this movie, and I don't remember the music very well. But I do have a little fact. So this film was actually composed by Bernard Herrmann, who he actually completed this just hours before his death. So the film was actually dedicated to him. And so I just want to honor his legacy right now. But for the film, uh, music, I say 5 out of 10. And last but not least, the acting. Oh my gosh, 10 out of 10. Jodie Foster, amazing. Robert De Niro, absolutely sensational. He's such a method actor. He really was Travis. And I could see in his eyes, in his movement, in his body, in his bones, he was Travis. And he was slowly but surely losing his mind. And you could see that fight within him, that internal battle that was eating him up inside. And when he started to, you know, transform himself and he started working out every day and eating clean and stopping the pills, you can see the determination and the need in his eyes, and he was desperate for change. He was desperate to stand up for something, and he just really became that character. And that character was so real, so raw. It was great to see. And I loved, oh my gosh, Betsy, Cybill Shepherd. She did such an amazing job as Betsy. She really added that. Oh, like, when I think Betsy, I just think fresh. Like that's the only word I can say about her is just fresh, clean, you know, great girl. And she did a great job in the acting, and Jodie Foster was absolutely amazing as this actor, and she did such a good job. And she was actually 12 when she filmed this, and because she was 12, her older sister Connie was actually her body double for some of those raunchier scenes because you can't have a 12-year-old doing that. No way. Um, yeah. So what is it? 95% score for me. 95% score. I liked it. I loved it. And I'm very happy with it. And yeah, oh my gosh. So, my first film review, Taxi Driver. I want to know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the film? What do you think about the acting, about the cinematography, about the writing? What do you think about Travis, his character? And can you relate to this film? If you don't want to open up, don't open up. But if you do want to open up, safe place. Do you relate to this film? Have you ever had feelings of isolation, of loneliness? And did it feel like it did for me? Like we were on a roller coaster with Travis? I felt like I was with him, experiencing all this. This tension, this psychological torture, this drama, this neo noir, uh this crazy world. I feel like I was experiencing it all with Travis, and I was kind of forced to be by his side through this. Yeah. So the next film is gonna be Saturday Night Fever. It's the one with John Travolta. So yes, stay tuned for that. I'll see you next Tuesday, and thank you so much for listening to the 70s Film Freak. This is Sarah Reach, and have a great week. Bye.